Some coasters are world class, others are great, but then there's the very low tier of coasters, the ones that you never want to ride again. Today I will be looking at 10 coasters I will never re-ride again, and sharing with you what I think on these rides. Let's just hop into the video with no further time wasted. Number 1, Nighthawk at Carowinds. This coaster originally was stealth at California's Great America, but in 2004 it was relocated to Carowinds as Borga Simulator, renamed Nighthawk later on. This ride is very uncomfortable for me. I love flying coasters. I love the Superman Ultimate Flight clones, and while I haven't ridden any other flying coaster than that, I really like Superman Ultimate Flight, so I figure I would like other flying coasters by B&M. But this flying coaster, oh my gosh, it is super uncomfortable. Just laying down while you're staring at the sun, while you hear the loud lift hill, while you're going up the lift hill, is just so annoying, and it's just uncomfortable as heck. Especially the final 2 corkscrews, and not to mention the vest restraints make it very hard to breathe. So it's an easy spot on this list for me, and I will never ride this coaster again. Number 2, Anaconda at King's Dominion. This is a rough ride. I know some people say it's decent, but I just don't like it. The drop gives a good dose of headbanging, and the underwater tunnel is cool, but nothing more than cool. The vertical loop is extremely shaky, and the Sidewinder is a nice another dose of beautiful headbanging. It sucks. And the rest of the ride is basically just turns, uncomfortable corkscrews, and Goliath-like mid-courses. Number 3, Grizzly at King's Dominion. Heading back to King's Dominion, apparently Virginia's premier thrill park? What are you talking about? When you have this many bad coasters, how could you be considered the best park in Virginia when BGW is right next to you? Doesn't make sense. But anyways, Grizzly is a super rough ride in the second half. Going down the drop in the first turn is fine, but after that, all chaos ensues, and you go into some of the roughest and worst transitions I've ever experienced on a coaster. Seriously, you should RMC. Oh, wait. King's Dominion already has an RMC. Well, they should have RMC'd this instead of Hurler. But speaking of Hurler, number 4, Hurler at Carowinds. While this ride isn't rough at all, it's just boring. I seriously could take a nap on this ride if it didn't have hard lap bars and annoyingly not that much pads on the trains. The first drop is garbage, the turn gives no force at all, the airtime hills do give a small pop of floater, but it's a very weak one and it's very limited. And the rest of the ride is just meandering around with no signs of actually doing something good. They should get RMC to come in if they haven't already broken their relationship with Cedar Fair and RMC this coaster into Twisted Timbers or something completely different. Number 5, Rougarou at Cedar Point. Need I say more than what's on the screen? Number 6, Vortex at Carowinds. Another Carowinds coaster because it's top heavy as heck there. But Vortex is a B&M stand-up coaster that isn't the worst ride ever. I can deal with it. It's just not that fun. The standing up position is uncomfortable, and the ride just kind of meanders around in the second half. I do have to give the vertical loop some praise though, because it is pretty intense on your feet. Number 7, American Eagle at Six Flags Great America. This is the only coaster at Six Flags Great America on this list, and I think it is the worst thrill coaster there. The ride isn't super rough, it just doesn't deliver so much. The floater airtime hills at the beginning of the ride are nice, and the helix is just plain forceless. But the second half is where it really lacks airtime and any good forces. Not to mention, it only ran one side when I went, so it really wasn't that fun of a ride. And I hope they either RMC this ride, or they just tear it down completely. Number 8, Corkscrew at Cedar Point. This may be the one big ride at Cedar Point I would never ride again in my lifetime. Corkscrew is just uncomfortable. The shoulder restraints, just like Anacondas, give you plenty of headbanging. The vertical loop is kind of forceful, and there's some random ejector pops in the ride, but the corkscrews are very janky and they, like I mentioned, give a ton of headbanging. Moving on to another aero looper, we might have the most controversial pick of the video. Number 9, Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood. I know, people are gonna hate me for this pick, but I seriously do not like Tennessee Tornado. I will never ride it again. This ride, I don't know why. People say it's smooth, but it's rough for me. I do like the drop in the first loop, but after that, it just goes headbanging central on you. And maybe it's just because I don't have a proper position to ride it in, but I just get a ton of headbanging and I feel like it's super rough. Not to mention how short the ride is. And finally, my number 10 is Wicked Twister. I know this ride is getting removed soon, but I have ridden it and I don't really want to re-ride it. I know that it is getting removed, just like I said, but I planned for this video to come out before Wicked Twister's removal, so I'm not going to really care that it's going to get removed. I still, if it wouldn't got removed, still wouldn't have not ride that thing. It was okay. I guess the spikes were fun, and the launch was kind of forceful, but it was just kind of boring overall, and it's very repetitive. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, then make sure to click like and subscribe. And make sure to click the bell to get notified when I upload. And now I'm going to end the video right about